So for you, if you've gone for company, do you think he's the best centre-back to play in the Premier League?
No.
Who would you go for?
I'd probably go for Rio. You open for the call out here or what?
No.
And then the last one I went for was Ashley Cole. I think for big periods in his career, he was the best left back in the world, and so that was the 6 I went for.
But you mentioned Scholes.
Yeah, we've got lots of questions.
So him and Alan. So you said Shearer and Scholes should have been the first two. That's a big statement, that.
Yeah, I just think, listen, playing with Scholes for a long time and seeing what he done, and I know Thierry Henry is arguably the best player in the Premier League, but I think for Shearer has to go in for his goal scoring record, and for Scholes, he just, you know, what he done for you in the team and how he dictated games for the team. So I think he is a bit underrated. Certainly not with myself or Manchester United.
Well, he's definitely not with actual players who play with Paul Scholes. Everyone, Gary says the same. You say the same. Everyone speaks about him.
Yeah, so that's the reason, really. And obviously, I know Thierry Henry is incredible, but just from a personal point of view, I would have went with Shearer and Scholes.
So Scholes ahead of Gerrard?
Yeah.
Centre-backs.
So you'll obviously go, you listen to both.
You'll be getting no players on loan for Aston Villa.
Well, I haven't been getting any anyway. So.
just one of the centre-backs as well. So you talked about Rio, of course, a teammate of yours, but in terms of the opponents, the hardest opponents you face in the Premier League, who would that be?
Yeah, I think John Terry was the toughest I faced. And there's a few, obviously Carroll was one of them, one of the toughest ones I played against. And it's the players who, they know all the little tricks. Carroll weren't blessed with great pace, but he knew all the little tricks and he knew at the right times to kick you, to wind you up at times. So,
do you remember that time I caught you on the knee?
Yeah, it was a red card. I think we spoke about this last time.
Anfield, wasn't it? You couldn't go down.
It was a red card,
yeah. Split.
I had to go off tonight because I had to go off. They had to stitch it up. I think it was John O'Shea might have been scored last minute.
Yeah. Do you think you were better as a centre forward or playing behind a centre forward?
I was probably better as a 9 in terms of, but for me it was very difficult to go and play there and keep me patient and just know that's my job. Your job is to score goals. I always feel there's more to my game and into dropping in, scoring goals, creating goals for your teammates. But I knew at that time we had no number 9, so I had to go and do it. I always enjoyed playing behind, say, a Ruvan Nistelrooy or a Louis Saha or Tevez at times. I always enjoyed
Van Persie.
And Robin Van Persie. I always enjoyed that role, but in this period we didn't really have a number 9. You
were always described as a street footballer, and you know when you're playing the street, everyone's just running around everywhere. There's no positions. Was it you like to play deeper because you like to make assists or get on the ball, or was it you just sort of had that energy that you just wanted to be involved and running around rather than just being in a fixed position?
Yeah, I think sometimes I like to be almost being a number 10, but then having the ability to go and be a second striker or go and be a midfield player, and sometimes to drift out wide. And it was just how the game goes, feeling how the game is and seeing where the space is. And I used to love coming back and putting a tackle in on a fullback, or just little things where if we're involved in the game, I'd go and tackle someone just to get myself back involved.
Was the thought, I need to score today in this game against Arsenal when you went on the pitch? Yeah,
it was my last game as a 16-year-old, and I always wanted to score in the Premier League at 16, so it was my last chance, and Sol Campbell backed off me, and I knew that was my opportunity, so I thought, why not hit it, and thankfully I've caught it perfect.
Obviously playing for Everton at 16 is a massive achievement in itself. Because of the goals coming out to that special Arsenal team, it was a special goal as well. Did sort of life really change then when that goal went in?
Yeah, I think so. I think there was a couple of moments where it changed. So obviously when I scored that goal, all of a sudden your life is flipped upside down really, and everyone wants to talk about it and about you or to you. And then obviously it was when I made my England debut, it was the next one where again that probably takes you a bit more worldwide, and then joining Man United. So I think them 3 moments all had an impact in me growing up.
Everyone must think that's a positive thing, outside looking in, wow, he's got everything now, Wayne Rooney, but also do great difficulties come with that kind of exposure? Yeah,
they do, and I spoke about this in the documentary I've done, and It's not always, you know, as it seems, and you can be earning a lot of money playing at big clubs, but then you have difficulties with that, and ultimately they lead to mistakes as well. So yeah, it was tough at times, but all I wanted to do was be on the pitch and play. I don't think so. I think it's Arsenal or Tottenham. I think it's between the two of them, and I look at Manchester United's form of late. I don't think they're going to challenge for it, if I'm being honest. So I think it's between Arsenal and Tottenham, and I think Tottenham have got the experience in the squad. I'll give them the upper hand.
Who's got the better fixtures, though, if it is about Tottenham or Arsenal, Jamie?
I think Tottenham have got the better fixtures. They've got, obviously, Arsenal to come to their place as well. And even if you take that game out of it, there's no doubt for me, Tottenham have the better fixtures. Arsenal have got that game in hand, but you look at that game in hand, it's actually Chelsea away. You know, maybe the actual toughest game, so it'd be difficult to see Arsenal maybe picking up too much from that game, so maybe it is really level pegging. I mean, I think probably 2 or 3 months ago we were asked on this show, and I actually said Tottenham at the time, but I said Arsenal yesterday when I was at Tottenham.
What are you saying today?
Yeah, but I mean, I'll probably go back to Tottenham. You know, when you look at it, I mean, it changes all the time. Of course, it does the same with the title when we look at those positions and the bottom positions as well. But, you know, looking at that, I think the fact that Arsenal's game in hand is Chelsea away is a bit of a worry.
And they've got to go to Tottenham as well. It's interesting, isn't it, Wayne? We talk about the top two as being fascinating, but they're almost relentless the way that City and Liverpool go about it. You barely see them dropping points. It seems or feels a bit different in the race for the Champions League places because you never quite know when they're going to slip up.
Yeah, it's almost like no one wants that fourth place. Everyone. And I think that's the inconsistency of the teams below Manchester City and Liverpool. I think they've set the marker. They're two incredible teams. They're performing every single week. And then the teams below them, you put Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham into that. They're a little bit inconsistent, and that's shown by the league position.
Was he inducted today?
What, because of the suit?
I just think it's
So what, there's a reason behind that.
Go on.
Because obviously over the last year I've put a little bit of weight on, so it's actually the only suit that will fit me at the minute. I need to get the most out of it.
Is it the only tie you've got?
No. No.
We did. Speaking of suits, we had the message from the man from Del Monte. He wants us back.
It was a big night. Wayne Rooney was coming on. I thought I was going to put the best gear on.